Hi everyone, welcome to the new episode of Peter's English podcast. In this episode, I want to read you my second story from my new big vampire series about Vierka, the vampire girl. I hope you will like it, and I'm going to read you my new second story about Vierka, the vampire girl, right now. Welcome in my new episode of my podcast, and we can start. Vierka's choice. Vierka's vampire folklore group decided to represent her vampire folklore in the United States of America. There is the biggest folklore festival for all vampires in the world in the USA. They bought tickets and paid for a 2-week luxury stay at a 5-star hotel with a restaurant and wellness center in the USA. This hotel is the best hotel in the world. Thanks to our popularity, our English podcast earned a lot of money, said Vierka. It's a cool thing to be a vampire. You can use your power, said Lukáš. People are fascinated by vampires, said Marek. I'm looking forward to meeting Alexander's vampire community in the USA. Alexander is so handsome and cute, said Vierka. Hold your horses, sweetheart. You have not met him before. Do not trust every handsome man, especially vampire men. They can seduce vampire girls with their magic powers very quickly, said Katarina. Kate, don't be mean. I can control myself, said Vierka. Well, we'll see, laughed Katarina. Vierka, along with her best friends, who are members of the vampire folklore group, was supposed to fly on Sunday evening. I cannot wait until Friday, said Vierka. Don't worry, you will see your Alex soon, Katarina joked. Katarina, do not be rude, answered Vierka. What else? Are you going to send a tornado after me? Laughed Katarina. Is a hurricane enough? Vierka answered. It was a big day for Vierka and her friends. Vierka's friends traveled by train to Košice and then by taxi to the Košice airport. They boarded the plane. The flight from Košice to Vienna took 1 hour. They waited for 2 hours at the airport. The plane to the USA arrived on time. The flight from Vienna to the USA took 11 hours. Vierka and her friends slept well and had no problems during the flight. At the airport, Alexander and his team were waiting for them. Welcome to my home, dear friends. I am Alexander, the leader of our vampire community in my country. Nice to meet you all, said Alexander. Vierka fell in love with Alexander at the first sight. Alexander fell in love with Vierka at first sight too. Hi Vierka, nice to meet you. You are even more beautiful in person than on the internet, said Alexander. Vierka was speechless, didn't say a word and blushed like a tomato. Vierka likes you from the very first moment, Katarina teased. That's sweet. Vierka is very cute too. Alexander smiled, appreciating the compliment. Vierka, say something. Do not be so nervous. Try not to panic, Vierka was thinking about herself when she blushed. Vierka's face turned bright red. I must apologize for Vierka. She really likes you, Alex, Katarina said. That's okay. Vierka is very nice and sweet. Do not apologize for her, Kate, Alexander said. Alexander showed them the sights of his city, introduced them to his community and took them to a formal dinner at his big house. Alexander's house was very old and big. It had many rooms and a large garden with a podium and chairs for sitting. The formal dinner started at 6 in the afternoon. Everyone was dressed in formal attire. The atmosphere was very lively. Vierka was talking with Alexander. She tried to seduce him, and Alexander was a gentleman from the old school. He was very funny and nice to Vierka. Vierka's friends had fun with each other. They were singing and dancing together. Live music played and they danced. Alexander took Vierka outside. They flirted with each other and began to kiss. Vierka, I love you, and I want to be with you, Alexander said first, his voice full of emotion. Vierka answered, I love you too. Her voice was filled with emotion. I felt it from the very first moment too, she continued, her heart racing. I just didn't know how to say it. I've known your feelings from me since the very first moment we met, Alexander said. Alexander and Vierka started dating. Vierka's friends discovered the dark truth about Alexander while they were exploring the abandoned old house in the forest. Alexander was leading a big meeting with the members of the vampire cult. Vierka stood next to him, overwhelmed by her feelings for Alexander. Vierka became a member of the vampire cult. The vampire cult was a dark vampire sect aimed against humans. The vampire cult wanted to change all people into vampires, and Alexander wanted to rule the entire world. Vierka couldn't control her vampire instincts when she was near Alexander. Alexander only used her and seduced her for his own pleasure. Vierka couldn't control herself. Vierka's friends were completely shocked. They used their vampire powers to call their vampire communities in Slovakia. Lord Vladimir with the whole Vierka's family and other members of the community came quickly. You abused, desecrated and humiliated my blood, Vierka, Vladimir shouted. For that you will pay, scoundrel. Vladimir's anger was palpable and the stakes were even higher. Lord Vladimir attacked the vampire cult and Alexander was trying to escape with Vierka when Vladimir jumped in his way and said, "Where are you going? Vierka is staying with me." Alexander pushed Vierka aside and attacked Vladimir. The big fight against the strongest vampires began. Both sides used all their vampire powers to destroy each other. Alexander started to win the fight when Vierka woke up from a bad dream. She felt that Alexander didn't love her, that he had abused her, and she attacked Alexander. Vierka's community won the battle and destroyed the dark vampire cult. They helped Vladimir. They destroyed Alexander and he disappeared forever. Vierka and her friends won the battle. Vierka felt that it was Alex's vampire powers that had seduced her. She was happy that her family and friends helped her. Vampires found a new leader for the community who liked people, and they were very happy that their friends from abroad helped them destroy the dangerous dark vampire cult. Vierka wasn't sad because she knew that the happiness of love can come at any time. She continued to do her hobby, which was learning English. The end. This was, people, the second story about Vierka the Vampire Girl, and I hope you will like it. And please write me. We can talk together in my podcast. I want to record our talking because I love doing my podcast. And you can be the member of my community. You can write me. You can follow me, and I'll be very happy when you will be when you will be the member of my community, and we can practice English together while we'll be recording the new episodes of my podcast, because I want to record ourselves while we'll be practicing learning English. Thank you for your listening, and I want to tell you bye bye.